quick introduction. Thank you, Senthil, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chakri. I'm the head of Global Hub for Reckitt, which is a capability center that we have in Hyderabad. But I also manage the entire global products and platforms for Mead Johnson Nutrition. And today, we have this good opportunity to share the procurement digital transformation that we have done for Mead Johnson. Look forward.
So my name is Senthil. I work in GyanSys for the last 5 years. Prior to GyanSys, I've been working with IBM and Deloitte, and there were other. I was also working as a client. So glad to be a partner with Reckitt, and thanks Chakri for coming and supporting us in this transformation journey. So just a quick glimpse about GyanSys. So GyanSys, we hit our 20th year this year. So 20-year-old company. We have 3,000 plus resources with close to 10 delivery centers across the globe. We are based out of Carmel, Indianapolis, Indiana. And primarily from GyanSys perspective, we do S/4HANA transformations, Salesforce, Microsoft services, as well as ServiceNow. From the S4 perspective, we do brownfield, greenfield, as well as bluefield, and we work with the customer on the whole journey. And currently, if we think through some of the niche technologies, we also have very good Ariba practice. We have EWM practice, etc. So GyanSys overall, is an end-to-end SAP implementation partner as well as Salesforce partner, as well as we do strongly around the Microsoft services. So with that, I want to just talk about some of the GCCs where we have supported and we are supporting, and how we have supported Reckitt. This is the journey which I want to walk through, and then hand over to Chakri for the discussions. So Upfield is one of the food companies where we have been supporting on certain business transformations with them. Kellanova right now, and before that it was called as Kellogg's. Kellogg's, as everyone knows, is one of the popular food companies. We have been working with them on a lot of these planning related business transformation, as well as we are the AMS partner for Kellogg's. So primarily in Kellogg's, we do a lot of optimization activities on a frequent fashion. We don't just do AMS as AMS, right? Just to keep the lights on. We do business transformation on a periodic fashion and make sure how they are getting incremental efficiency in their overall process. Then coming to Thermax, Thermax is a tooling company. We have supported them as an AMS partner. For a long time, we have been having a long-standing relationship with Unilever. So we have been a very niche vendor for Unilever on the PLM space. For almost 10 years, we have been working with Unilever. We have brought them, several incremental solution optimization in their whole journey. And we are continuing, and we are doing a lot of digital evolution in the PLM space as well as other areas in Unilever. Applied Materials, everyone might have heard, they are the machine builders for the semiconductor. So we have a very long-standing journey with the Applied Materials too. Almost 10% of our strength goes into the Applied Materials. Their journey, we do planning, we do AI/ML, we have implemented EWM for them. So overall, it has been a very fairly great experience working with Applied Materials for almost 10 years. Primarily, the other partner which we have been working with the last 2 to 3 years has been Kennametal. They make carbide tips. And Kennametal, is a pretty unique client. It's a very tough environment where we have supported them with the Fury transformation. So primarily a very complex environment where the UI is very much key. We have supported them with. So finally, going to Reckitt. So almost a decade, we have been supporting Reckitt and Mead Johnson, and we have been, partners in US and in India after the digital hub has been started. We have been supporting them. So currently, we have worked with them on doing the archiving process, and we have got the Ariba project, and it is almost a 6 months project where, we are going through a journey. We are going to go live in a matter of next 3 to 4 days Hopefully, things are all going well, but we want to explain the journey. And further to that, we continued our efforts in supporting Reckitt in a lot of the digital transformation. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to hand over to Chakri for the next steps.
So I'll just give you a quick intro to the association of the organization with GyanSys. I know Senthil has briefly touched upon, and you might be wondering, like, say, Reckitt, a global company, and what is this association with a boutique vendor who brings in a very niche capability around SAP implementations, Ariba implementation. And what we believe at Mead Johnson Nutrition, which is primarily a business unit under Reckitt, we want talent that can come in and quickly jumpstart our digital transformation. We truly want to partner with firms who really bring us those skills wherein we just need to seamlessly plug in. And that was one reason to operate with some of these niche boutique vendors in some of these areas. And for those of you who have not heard about who we are, Reckitt, I think I keep telling this every time. We are the makers of Dettol, Lysol, and Harpic. And it's a pride moment, but we also are the makers of Enfamil, which is an infant formula. And to give a little bit of background, Reckitt acquired Mead Johnson Nutrition, a Midwest company, a 2.5 billion business, back in 2016 at a 16 billion valuation. And it's a massive acquisition back then. And then we tried to integrate these two businesses, and today we are one single company. Of course, we still have our uniqueness in terms of our business operating model and the focus of the business, because our consumer base is completely different. We serve the consumers are all infant babies and infants. So the journey in terms of our procurement digitization is not very easy, and it did not happen by plan. And some things do happen like that. Like, so we're actually doing a massive ERP transformation, which is our S4HANA RISE. We're actually going live with that in 3 days. And we just accidentally were into a situation that, like, say, hey, there's no other way than you need to also exit our current procurement tech stack. And the reasons are pretty straightforward. We have end-of-life components, the legacy procurement tech stack that we're using for both upward and downstream management. We were using things like good old systems like SRM, CLM, MDM. If people would have known these acronyms, these are all tools that we are using for managing supplier lifecycle management and all that. And that's when we thought, like, say, hey, if we are actually getting into transforming our core, which is our ERP core, we need to have the systems that are also truly taking us to that level of unlocking value. And the only way to do that is get rid of the end-of-life systems. They're not immediately end-of-life, but they're getting to an end-of-life stage. So that's the reason we said we'll do it. And we went with that unlocking thing. And what we understood is, like, say, this journey should have, because we have not factored it very early, and we thought, like, say, hey, in the middle of the ongoing program, this has to be now executed in 6 months. So this whole entire procurement transformation that we're talking, coming out from an existing tech stack for procurement and moving on to Ariba for the entire organization, 2.5 billion business, is all in flat 6 months, which involves business change management, which involves, like, say, implementing the new tech, trainings, testing, everything, and even the build. While we're doing this, it's just not about bringing in technology, but we also want to call out, like, some of the challenges that we have. The number one I already called out, there is an aging legacy tech stack that we have. But number two, we also have limitations with that existing tech stack where we could not connect to the modern tech stack, the S4 platforms and all. So we are forced anyways, but the agility that we demonstrated in moving forward and trying to integrate with this new modern tech stack is also something that's really good. And then the challenges around the governance and security, In fact, some of our legacy applications have challenges over cyber in terms of like say the overall governance for the procurement process itself was all questionable because people were able to get into the contract systems and trying to create vendors manually, no real governance around supplier master, material master. So those are certain things that were really a big challenge. And then there is no real collaboration, truly end-to-end collaboration with the supplier. There is just limited collaboration. There's just simple onboarding. There's no verification of the supplier. There's no end-to-end life cycle management of a supplier onboarding. So there are a lot of challenges in that as well. And then the visibility part, it was very, very, very limited. We have to literally scout out information, extract the data out onto various dashboards, and then build visibility to the procurement spend, whether it is an NPS or whatever. And then the overall, the way we are disintegrated with respect to so many systems, it naturally led us into a situation where the entire efficiency is questionable. And on top of it, the external GFS piece of it, where we use IBM as our partner, is also getting challenging because because there's so much of disintegrated systems, so the efficiencies are not really there. And then this journey started. I will not go through everything on the slide, but I can tell you few highlights of it. All we can say is we will have one single source of truth with Ariba implementation for the entire upstream and downstream process. And we are going to go with a day one supplier integration, and this is a big thing, and we are onboarding roughly about 500 plus suppliers on day one of go live. And of course, over the next few days, we'll be onboarding 4,000 plus users across the globe who would be really using this platform for the entire procurement process. And what is very unique in terms of this approach is because the historical legacy systems are so disintegrated, the migration of the data was a challenge. The contracts that we had, they're clueless literally in terms of how they were used, the way they were created. So it was not an easy exercise to really identify a seamless data migration approach. And we have used some of the tools to really streamline or orchestrate all this data harmonization. And we have gotten to a stage where we can actually upload 75,000 plus contracts. And that's really a very, very important step for us. And then the entire global community in terms of suppliers that we have is 15,000, but it's going to be an incremental journey that we're going to take over the next few months. But what I can call out clearly in terms of the value proposition in how we were able to deliver this piece of work, it's all first and foremost have been delivered in a record time, which is 6 months flat for the entire business unit. But the way we have done it is keeping a very effective program management around the business change itself that is coming. It's a greenfield implementation. We are completely coming out of the existing tech stack and moving on to a new one. The way we have approached is we brought the business partnership from day one, and it was actually a program that was actually executed by tech and business truly partnering from day one. It is not hey, there is a requirement gathering session, let's sit and do a blueprint and all. Gone were those days where we have time for all this, to be very honest. It is all about enabling things right from get-go. So it is a process that is already existing, right? Though it is disintegrated on multiple systems, there is a business process that's already established. So we took the as is, we just lifted that business process. We have to tweak certain business process to improve some of them. But we did all that with a very clear, agile approach. And hence, the time in which we were able to deliver is roughly about 6 months, I would say. And yeah, there are a lot of benefits that are there. Definitely, I did not repeat everything that I've said. The biggest benefit is going to be an end-to-end platform, not just for core procurement process, but also a platform that can provide us business insights, wherein we can actually bring in, reduce some of the tech stack integration that we are doing historically to just get these basic insights of our procurement spend and all those things. And then the user experience bit of it is something that is a very good offering, I would say. Again, it is pretty straightforward with Ariba, but with the way where we are, it sounded to be a step up for us, but it is nothing really anything very different to what we would get. But One important thing that we are able to do is the single sign-on. I know most of us would have in our own things, we know it's not easy approving these POs and all. We need to run around 10 different systems, need to still figure out what is our passwords and all that. But we brought in a single sign-on capability with our network ID, and that is a very good seamless experience that we are talking. And we did a lot of automation in terms of the entire procurement data migration, and that is another cost saving that we had in terms of how we leverage some new modern automation capabilities to migrate some of the data. So some of those, with that I would just open it for Q&A if there are any.
Can someone?
Yeah, thanks for your updates. I'm also voting in the similar boat like you in Tata Projects. We just adopted Ariba and SAP S/4HANA for procurement. And we are facing two challenges. One is like item codification with, they have limitation of 40 characters. And second thing is commerce automation, which needs to be integrated invoice uploading by vendors. So how did you mitigate that? Just I would like to understand from you.
Yeah, from the limitation perspective, I think it comes Ariba is standard out of box. You use the long text completely for getting through that particular process. Like what we do in SAP, it is the same process that we do in Ariba too. So that has been a standard for them in SAP. From the commerce automation perspective, right? See, in the past, right, we used to run all these 800 series IDOCs, right, back and forth. But this whole process of commerce automation has made us enabled through. So I mean, like through using the integration tools from from the Ariba side, it is pretty effective, and we didn't have any issues. We have been another 3 more days into this process. We have done all the UAT, everything. So everything is going well from the commerce automation perspective, but I will take some time with you to understand, what are the challenges you guys are facing, and we will see, whether we can help by any means, to support this
I
whole
left
act.
my card with your in
Definitely,
your stall. You
definitely,
can.
yeah.
Also, I have one more. Ariba and SAP, we are unable to integrate also. It's not flowing. That automation is like once the tender reverse auction is done, we can't create purchase order automatically. It is not generating. So that integration also is not there. I don't know whether you have, then I should
No, actually,
understand
that
that
is
also.
basically the core synergy of Ariba, right? That integration should be happening.
Well, we did not find any challenge.
We didn't find any
We did not find any challenge.
So
but
then I will separately come to you.
definitely we
and
can.
I'll
Definitely,
understand.
we
we
can
were able
support
to
that.
Thank you.
do that.
Any other questions we can answer?
Yeah, maybe I can ask one question. So this is Parveen, I'm from Procter & Gamble. We also implemented the Ariba recently, but we could not use it again because of various reasons. One of the major reasons was our suppliers, because they don't use it, right? So their capability to use the Ariba was very, very limited. So we had to spend a lot of effort with the suppliers to educate them and all that. So that's why only key suppliers we were able to use, but we could not expand it. So just wanted to understand from you how you were able to get to that supplier level and then manage that, because Indian suppliers, again, our ecosystem.
I don't think there is an easy answer for that. I think it's the same hardship that we went through. So we have a massive supplier base, but we broke it down into the key suppliers and all that. And some of them would already be there. If it's a very established player, there's no doubt about it, they'll already be on an Ariba buyer integration.
Okay.
It is so easy for that. The next set of buyers, it's a real problem. And you just need to keep iterating. You just need to tell them, like, say, there is no other way to integrate and do business with the company. And the only way is educating them, staying in touch with them, persuading them. We did few things in OCM creatively, trying to create some awareness. We did some questions and quizzes. What are the challenges we see today? And we showed some of the things that would be post Ariba, and if they're still not getting onto the buyer, what kind of access they would miss, what kind of visibility they miss. I think it's all more about show and tell, trying to do that connect. It's not going to be easy for sure. The program I can proudly say is in 6 months, but the journey after that is going to be another year. That's for given.
I know the simple question was we don't sit with the computer, so don't expect much
Yeah,
answer.
it doesn't work like that.
That
There
was
is
a
no-
simple answer from the suppliers,
Yeah, yeah.
especially the lower end ones.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I've been traveling with Ariba for the last 10 years. The simple answer for you is what Chakri mentioned, constant reinforcement. Without reinforcement to the vendors, I don't think, this can be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. SenthilKumar, and thank you so, Mr. Chakravarthy, for that very, very insightful and a meaningful conversation. Thank you so much.